And hello there, my viewer. Welcome to Sans TV. This is the Glamour Show with me, your host, Edna Kaindi. And this is my sign name. And today on this episode, as you can see, I don't have a guest hanging out with me, but I'm going to take this chance to share with you how we got to start on this journey and how we got to where we are right now. So don't forget to join us here at Science TV on all our social media platforms, from TikTok to Instagram to YouTube. Make sure you leave a comment on the Glamour Show. So welcome to today's episode and let's get started. So how did I even get to start glamour or the fashion industry? Okay, take a pause and allow me to take some few steps back. And I remember it was around 2017. At the time, I was really passionate about the idea of beauty, the industry of beauty and fashion, but I did not have no clue. So there was a time I used to fly because of art. I'm sure most of you don't know that I'm a very good artist. I'm a very good artist. I can draw, but now you know. So at the time, I remember I was really focusing on art. I used to draw in different places, and I used to sell my art pieces to people. And at the time, I'd not even joined college or I'd not taken a course that I wanted to study. So I was really just focused on my art. And I remember my mom, who had a friend, because they both have children who were deaf. So I remember my mom's friend actually invited me to come to Science TV for an interview. And at the time when I was coming to Science TV for the interview, I was coming to talk about my artwork. So after she requested me to come, she's talking of Science TV. At the time, I don't even know Science TV, but she really made sure she introduced it to me well. She gave me the story, and that's how I came to Science TV for the first time for the interview. So previously, I wasn't really fascinated by TV. I wasn't really even knowing much, or I have never thought of being on TV. So when I came here, uh, I came for the interview. She did a brief training on the interview, on what I'm going to be expecting. And when I came, I was fascinated. The place was amazing. The place was beautiful. I saw so many deaf people at Science TV. And that was how I even got to learn of the place. So we got to have the interview, talked about my artwork, had a nice time here. And I remember when we finished, we went ahead and met the boss of Science TV. When we went to meet the boss, we talked about my work and we talked about a lot of things. And basically, there was a request if I will be able to join Science TV. And she asked about maybe I start from an internship level where I'm not getting paid, but for me to actually learn on the job. So I remember at the time when I used to come for the, let me call it attachment or internship, I used to also study. I had taken my course where I wanted to learn beauty, massage, hair, and different things. So at the time, I used to balance the two. In the morning, I'm in college, really doing my thing, trying to study. And every evening, I used to pass by Science TV, and I basically was managing the two sides. It was a bit challenging because I'm remembering my school journey where I'm trying to learn, but at the time I didn't have interpreter. So I used to learn from maybe notes or from practicals. They show me practically how to do hair, how to do makeup, but anything that consisted of understanding what the teacher was saying was quite difficult. Through practical learning, I was able to learn, being the deaf person in school, and the school was mostly an integration between deaf and hearing people, and the school fees was a bit fair, so I really studied for a while, going to school, coming to science, going to school, coming to science, until later there was a time they announced a persons with disability competition. It was a modeling competition where it was really involving deaf people. At this time, I joined even modeling. Looking at it, it was a bit challenging. I did not win that competition, but I think that's when I dropped the whole thing of modeling, but I continued with learning beauty and also hair and makeup, and I really studied for, it was a 3 months course. So when I finished, I got my certificate, and at this time, I'm not really focusing on only hair, on only makeup. I've focused on nails, I've focused on massage. I've learned basically the whole shebang of everything that is there. So after I finished, I got my certificates, and now I'm out here trying to see if I can get opportunities in the industry that I've studied. And at the time, I also continued coming to science. And I think for me, I really hoped that maybe one day things are going to be working out. So I remember there's a day I got a friend of mine who wanted to do a photo shoot. I wanted to do a photo shoot. I went, I got dressed up. A friend of mine did my makeup. It was fantastic. The fashion, the dressing up during the photo shoot, it was so nice. I really posted that on my social media platforms. And the makeup that was done, I remember looking at it and it was so smooth. And I really wanted to deliver such makeup on myself. And I took the initiative. I had a basic skills from what I'd learned in school, but now I started putting in the effort. I tried and tried to do my makeup every other day or every other time. And I can say it wasn't smooth getting the perfect eyebrows shaped. It was sometimes very crooked, sometimes it was difficult. And until after some time and a lot of practice, everything started working out. And I even thought of starting my own business of doing makeup and stuff, but at the time I was stranded because I didn't have the capital. So I saw even an advertisement where people were going to pay for people to do the job that I like. And I remember I came. And I got some, after I went for that job, it was just a short-term contract with NHA, which was NHIF at the time. I got a short-term contract, I did people's makeup. I'm telling you, I was really trying. I got some money that I got to buy some of my products that I use every other day. And that's how I started even doing makeup on other people, the few people who will come through to me, or people who wanted my services. And I remember after my 3 months were also done here at Science TV, I got to finish my attachment or my internship level, and now they were really ready to pay me, or I was now getting permanently employed. So when that happened, it was a very, very big relief, but there was a challenge because now I have to be a news anchor, and I wasn't really conversant with doing a lot of news anchoring. It wasn't my field. I remember I was lucky because at the time a HR joined us here at Science TV, and through Media Council they got to give us a training on what it means to be a news anchor, or what it means for someone to be on TV, or just make me become a journalist. I'm telling you, it was really fantastic when I went there. I really learned, and it was very, very nice. And I really understood it's just not about news for you to be on TV. They really taught us about show hosting and many other things. And that's how I got to have the show Glamour. This came about how the HR also saw my skills in doing makeup and everything, and proposed I get to have a show where I'm talking about beauty and makeup and the whole industry. And at first I was hesitant, but she really explained the whole concept that I needed to get for the show. So at the time, trying to move around, getting people who I can invite for interviews, it wasn't the easiest. It was my first time I have to interview people, and I'm telling you, it wasn't the easiest experience. I tried my best until it started working out, until When you look at me now, you can think I'm the most experienced person. That's because it has taken time, so many years for me to build on this craft, to make sure my interview skills are improving. Everything is perfect, but I tell you for sure. And welcome back, my viewer. Welcome to the Glamour Show, as we have been sharing my story and how we got to have the Glamour Show in the first part. Now, probably I will just be adding a few photos on the episode for you guys to get to see where the journey was actually starting. And I really hope you've gotten to see how I was learning from my friend, my failures in makeup, and now I'm really proud of how I have gotten to be a good makeup artist and I can do good makeup on myself. So I remember I've really interacted with a friend of mine who was a really good makeup artist, a very good fashionista, and a very good hairstylist. And when I look at her job, she's my role model. She's the person who inspired me to even join this school, to even feel free to pay for makeup when someone is charging 4,000 and not feel like 4,000 is expensive. And I remember through learning from this friend of mine and her teaching me more about makeup, it's when I got to understand the value of the things and why the rate of 4,000 is there and why that is not considered expensive. And she trained me on how to perfect my skills, and everything became very, very beautifully clear. I hope you guys are agreeing with me as you're watching this show. I hope you agree with me on that. So I really do makeup on my family members, my cousins, my friend, just do makeup on them. No benefits, no profits, just doing basic makeups for my improvements. And now through my job, I got to start, as I told you before, I was starting with news anchoring, which was a bit challenging at first. And that's how the HR advised me to start doing a glamour show. So I remember after some time and a lot of contemplation, I really got to plan my show. I got a few guests who used to come. We have had amazing interviews and amazing interactions. And I'll really say previously when I look back at the skills or everything I used to do, even how my shows used to look like after I had done them, I really went back to watch, see my mistakes, see my improvements, and then make sure I build on that every other time I had a show. I really put in the effort to have everything coming out perfect. So for me, I really love fashion. And the reason why I love fashion is because it's really, really beautiful when you get to see people doing their thing, looking amazing. And sometimes people do things in the name of money. And sometimes when paying for makeup and fashion services, we think they're too expensive. But definitely, when you get to understand the value, you won't find it quite as challenging. So as we progressed here at Science TV, or as we've been progressing, my way forward on the show is to make sure we now go to diverse areas. We go further and further because having people from diverse places, I really hope I get to have guests from far and wide all joining us, sharing their skills and everything they have been learning. Yeah, I really hope that has been all. Bado. So I really hope you guys are learning a lot, and I hope that you're going to be staying tuned and watching us. So anything of beauty or anything of glamour which you want to learn, please always tell that to us. And also make sure you comment here at Science TV every other day on TikTok, on IG, on the YouTube you can find our show. So I really hope you're going to be joining us and getting to be learning from us. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the viewing.